Hello everyone, I'm Chris Thomas. You're watching ABC 10 Plus Tonight. An investigation is underway in Lodi after allegations that city funds are being misused. ABC 10 Plus Tonight starts now.
An investigation is underway tonight amid allegations Lodi city funds are being misused.
Yeah, ABC 10's Gabriel Porras has the story.
Heaven Mayfield of Lodi shakes her head as she watches this moment during Tuesday's city council meeting.
I have.
You will stop.
Couple more.
You will
sentences.
stop, or you will. Are we going to end the meeting? Okay.
That's
Put
your
the
choice,
papers
sir.
down.
Mayor Cameron Bragman ordered City Manager Scott Carney to stop speaking.
You are making a mockery of this chamber, sir.
The approved staff reports were not
Olivia,
published.
Madam City Clerk, would you please continue with the presentation?
The outburst moments after the city manager announced an investigation and allegations. The investigation is looking into widespread misuse of public funds. The allegations are the city clerk and city attorney edited a presentation to council without his approval in an effort to protect some employees.
He probably didn't want him to talk anymore because he don't want, to find out something that, everybody should know.
The mayor denies that he was trying to limit transparency. In a statement, he said that the city manager may have broken the law by releasing privileged information. He says the city is exploring its options, but that doesn't change the optics.
That was a first.
Chamber of Commerce CEO J.P. Ducetti was at the meeting.
It was unfortunate to see a city staff person silenced by an elected official. Elected officials, they have to be able to take information from staff so that they can make the best decisions.
At a critical time, budget forecasts predict the city will begin deficit spending next year.
Yes, every dollar and wherever it's going, they need to find it and do away with who's ever doing it.
In Lodi, Gabriel Porras, ABC 10.
Now, the city manager nor the city clerk responded to a request for comment. The city attorney also had no comment.
Terrifying moments for a man robbed at gunpoint on his own driveway at his home in South Sacramento. Investigators say he was targeted and followed home from work. It happened back in February, and tonight, 2 people are behind bars. ABC 10's Devin Truby joins us now. And Devin, you've learned he might not be the only victim.
That's right, Laura. Sacramento County Sheriff's deputies arrested a 23-year-old man and a 21-year-old woman, and tonight they believe there could be more victims.
It's something most people do every day. Come home, pull into their driveway, never expecting to be robbed at gunpoint.
We believe that it is their MO to follow victims home and then take advantage of the opportunity with them out of their vehicle. It puts the victim at a position of disadvantage when they're not expecting it. They're being violated in their own home.
A crime that anyone could be a victim of. The Sacramento County Sheriff's Office says on February 19th around midnight, a South Sacramento man was followed home and robbed at gunpoint in his driveway on the 8000 block of Turnberry Drive.
Just minutes after the robbery, our victim's credit cards were used at a gas station in a liquor store.
That's how robbery detective Blake Grinder was able to identify 23-year-old Josiah Branner and 21-year-old Sabrina Jones as the suspects. A little over a month later, Branner was arrested. His girlfriend turned herself in Wednesday. Investigators are asking you to take a closer look at these mugshots.
We do believe that there are other victims of Branner and Jones out there, and we do urge them to come forward to the sheriff's office.
The department says the victim did all of the right things, gave up his wallet, and then immediately called 911 once safe.
No property that you own or have is worth your life at the end of the day.
If you or someone you know may be a victim of Branner or Jones, you're asked to contact the Sacramento County Sheriff's Office. Reporting live in Sacramento, Devin Truby, ABC 10.
Very scary, shocking, and totally unexpected. Devin, a reminder to always be aware of your surroundings. Keep us posted on this investigation. Devin, thank you.
Incorporated in 1946, Folsom is full of history going back to its gold rush founding. It's located just 20 miles east of Sacramento, halfway between San Francisco and Lake Tahoe. The city is often known for Folsom Lake, the rodeo, 4th of July, and the historic downtown. Also known in the tech space, housing tech giants like Intel, Micron, and Toshiba. The city has seen exponential growth just over the last decade. A recent report from the California State Finance Department found Folsom is one of the fastest growing cities in the state. The city says as of 2023, more than 88,000 people live just right here, and that's a 22% increase from 2010. One area in the city people are moving to right now is Folsom Ranch. It's located just south of Highway 50. Developers plan to transform 3,500 acres of land into what they say is nearly a perfect place to live and work, with housing, shops, healthcare, and community parks. But with any new development comes growing pains and concerns. ABC 10's Jeannie Nguyen spoke to neighbors who say while they are happy with the area, they believe the growth is happening too fast and the infrastructure isn't keeping up.
Let's see. What are you thinking?
Ice cream.
We're not doing ice cream.
In the Wagner household,
Of course you guys want different stuff.
snack time
I know, I'll get you a drink.
is very important to Elena,
Okay, and then you want an egg with yours?
her 2 kids,
You want the yolk out?
and their dog.
Candy. Good girl. And if you eat all your food, then you can have ice cream for dessert. Got it?
For the past 5 years, the Wagners have called Folsom Ranch home.
And because it was a fresh area, nobody knew each other and everybody wanted to build community from the start. So it was really neat.
Folsom Ranch sits just south of Highway 50. The new neighborhood has been years in the making. Voters approved Measure M in 2004, allowing the city and county to develop the area.
Okay.
As one of the first families here, Elena says her children's education motivated the move. There are currently 2 new elementary schools, Alder Creek and Mangini Ranch, where Elena's kids go.
The school is so much better than expected, not just because it's, I've been told, has won architectural awards, but because it's one of the top performing schools in the district, one of the top performing schools, therefore, in the state.
Really, Mom? I'm working better.
The new schools also attracted Diana Laney to Folsom Ranch.
Folsom Cordova Unified School District has really great schools, and so we have young children. Education is really important to us. All right. Come here, Olivero.
The Laneys bought their house in Folsom Ranch 4 years ago and were excited about spending family time together.
Fell in love actually with this specific model. Part of that is because it has a really good size loft for my husband's music activities.
Hello, thanks for calling Taylor Morrison at Folsom Ranch. This is Tim. Yes, absolutely. We can get you in for an appointment. Come take a look at our homes.
Home builders saw the potential too. The company Taylor Morrison says they were the first to build homes in Folsom Ranch.
This community is pretty close to being sold out. Should be by the end of this year. We'll be closed out by the middle of next year. We will have built close to 800 homes.
Toll Brothers saw similar success with plans for 1,100 homes, including a community for seniors, with about 60% of them already sold. But with the quickly growing community comes concerns. The only 2 high schools in the city of Folsom are Vista del Lago and Folsom High. City officials admit they are already overcrowded. Diana says she is now seeing that. As she prepares to enroll her son in middle school, she worries the quality of his education may be impacted.
One of the 2 options that we have, there's not many choices, in that arena.
It's a feeling Elena shares.
I think that overcrowding is a huge risk all around for the children's social emotional well-being, their academic success, for their ability to take classes or extracurriculars that interest them.
As the neighborhood continues to grow, developers at Folsom Ranch have set aside 130 acres for 5 elementary schools, a middle school, and a high school. And at this moment, the Folsom Cordova Unified School District says within the next 5 years, they plan to open a high school, middle, and elementary school.
The district recognizes the consistent growth, especially in the Folsom Ranch neighborhood. Right now, there are currently 22,500 students district-wide, and that's projected to grow within the next 10 years to 30,000 students.
Based on the current growth throughout our district, both in Rancho Cordova and the city of Folsom, we're projected to open a new elementary school in Folsom Ranch neighborhood in 2028, first phase of a high school in 2029, also in the Folsom Ranch neighborhood, and then a middle school in 2031.
Another growing pain, traffic.
But which should take you, 10 minutes to get to the Palladio is going to take you 20 plus.
With Folsom Ranch's growth, drivers say they are seeing more congestion, especially on East Bidwell.
But East Bidwell is definitely a problem. It is kind of the main road to get around town. A lot of people use it. The overpass is backed up pretty significantly a couple of times a day, and that's only increasing. And so we definitely need a few more overpasses.
City officials tell ABC10 there is a planned interchange at Empire Ranch Road, one exit up from East Bidwell, to help alleviate traffic. But right now, the city does not have enough funding to fully complete the project. They say sales tax dollars remain flat, leaving many families frustrated.
But I think that there's work to do there. I hear really wonderful things from people when I speak to them around town, but hearing it and seeing it are two different things.
In Folsom, Jeannie Nguyen, ABC.
During this change, city leaders say that they are facing a constrained budget, staffing shortages, and millions of dollars in needed infrastructure improvements. This as the city's growth is placing more demand on public services like parks, police, and fire. ABC 10's Becca Habegger asked what the city is doing and why voters rejected one possible solution in November.
The sounds of business are bustling here at Shannon Family Automotive in Folsom.
Just a really, really supportive business environment.
Owner Colleen Shannon and her husband started the business in 2011 with just one employee and 2 bays. They now employ 17 and have 13 bays. She, her husband, and their 4 kids live just minutes away from the shop on Sibley Street.
It's not just a place we do business, it's definitely our community and our home.
A community she loves, but now sees strained as growth places extra demand on services and the city's budget. According to the city's newly published annual comprehensive financial report, the 3 biggest budget constraints are rising operational costs, aging infrastructure with no dedicated funding source, and the trend of sales tax growth flattening. People are spending less as money gets tight, and more of the shopping they are doing is online. Joe Gagliardi, president and CEO of Choose Folsom, says when someone shops online, the city gets even less.
I think people need to recognize that when you shop local, the sales tax money that the city gets stays local. When you shop online, it goes into a central pool and then is redistributed based on a percentage.
City leaders say Folsom's general fund budget is about $115 million, and 60% of that revenue comes from property and sales tax. Comparing fiscal year 2024 to the prior fiscal year, property tax revenue increased more than 10%. The city says that's due to a growth in home values. But local sales tax revenue dropped. This past fiscal year, the city of Folsom received nearly 2% less in local sales tax than the previous year. Currently, shoppers in Folsom pay 7.75% in sales tax, which goes to a combination of the state, county, and other public entities. Just one of those percentage points stays with the city of Folsom.
A recent attempt to increase local sales tax revenue failed when nearly 2/3 of voters said no to Measure G. That was back in November. It would have increased the local sales tax from 1% to 2%.
The text of the measure said it would have raised an extra $29 million per year for the city, which would be divided among various city services like police, fire, parks, and road maintenance. Most voters chose not to raise the tax, with Measure G opponents calling it ballot box budgeting. Colleen Shannon was among those in support of Measure G.
As a small business owner, I don't like more taxes. I don't like more government oversight. But I think that when you weigh it against the cost of, slower police response times, or our trails not being maintained, or problems that come up in the city that we're just not able to address in the way that keeps the quality of life, then I think that a sales tax initiative would be an extremely reasonable option. And since it didn't pass, I think it's really important for residents to get more involved.
Choose Folsom also advocated for the passage of Measure G.
The people spoke and didn't want to raise the taxes, so it means we got to be a little more innovative.
The city of Folsom does have a rainy day fund, and it's required to pass a balanced budget every year, but that means delaying needed maintenance, or, as it did in this year's budget, choosing to spend some of those reserve funds on overdue repairs.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon.
In her State of the City address earlier this year, Mayor Sarah Aquino said the city is eyeing short and long-term solutions, including the sale of surplus property and the activation of underutilized properties.
One of the strategies is to really really enhance our tourism effort to get more people to come here.
The city estimates about 40% of the sales tax revenue that does come to the city is generated from visitors, especially with attractions like Folsom's Historic District, Folsom Lake and Lake Natoma, and shopping centers like Folsom Premium Outlets and Palladio, which is celebrating its 15th year in the community. General Manager Gloria Wright says when she started at Palladio 14 years ago,
our occupancy rate was 30%. And now we're at 95%.
Wright says the growth of Folsom is helping to attract new businesses, even some national retailers who wouldn't previously consider Folsom.
Once the south of 50 construction actually started happening, people realized that this is a three-dimensional, 360-degree area where there is growth and can sustain having those national tenants here that are so sought after, like at the Galleria. So we're pretty proud of that.
Ultimately, Gagliardi says he considers Folsom's current budget constraints to be necessary growing pains.
We're not the only community feeling that. Those that don't have growth, I think, are really suffering even more than us. At least we have the prospect of what's coming in more opportunities.
In Folsom, Becca Habiger, ABC 10.
After all that snow we had, folks may be looking forward to heading up the hill. Monica, how are things looking?
I know. I heard from a lot of people trying to change their plans, trying to make sure they can hit some of that fresh powder. Hey, just a real quick check on what's happening here in the Midwest, Great Lakes states, all the way through the Central Plains. We are following this not only on ABC 10, but also on ABC 10 Plus. Yesterday, we were tracking some of those tornadoes that were ripping through parts of the Midwest, particularly through Indiana. So here's the complex right here. If you want to follow this severe weather, ABC 10 Plus, that's our TV app. You want to make sure to have that downloaded. Still have multiple watches and warnings out, including the risk of flooding. You saw some of the pictures right there. That risk continues deep through tonight. We're in that springtime flooding zone, so this is a real risk factor all the way through the Midwest, the Great Lakes, and out here on the West Coast because we got a lot of snow melt that we're dealing with. Today, we're still in the wake of that low pressure system, counterclockwise circulation pumping that moisture through the mountains as well as parts of the foothills. We've been tracking that through today. It's not a high impact situation, but we're just not totally clear yet. So we're still dealing with just a little bit of accumulation, not a ton though, coming in for tonight. Then we turn our attention to the dry and breezy weather ahead for tomorrow. Winds at about 10 to 15 miles per hour. I point that out not because they're real impactful, but because of allergies right now. Showers making a return a little bit deeper into the forecast. Highs for today close to 40 up top for the Sierra, 50s down the hill and 60s throughout much of the Central Valley. A little bit cooler than average. Big Mountain Backyard, we have mostly sunny skies. Our readings in the 60s. Our sunset at 7:32. Tahoe right now, mostly clear in 37. The bulk of the moisture now pressing its way south of the Tahoe Basin. Tomorrow, it's our Friday forecast. We started off with cool conditions at 43 degrees. We quickly warm. Keep in mind those north to northwest winds will be dry and warming winds, and we'll see the results of that with highs in the lower 70s throughout the afternoon. Here's a look at those winds, and we'll kick the morning off with northwest winds about 10 to 15 miles per hour. We'll see them ramp up just a little bit during the evening. So Friday's really the day for this, and then they start to back off during our Saturday. We have that high pressure ridge bringing the stable weather, the warmth as well. So we're saying goodbye to that low pressure system, but keep your eyes on that band of rain right there. It makes a return here late into Sunday night into early Monday. Real quick mover, though. It doesn't last long into our extended forecast. Highs in the 40s tomorrow for the Sierra with 60s to near 70 for the foothills. We're close to 70 as well for the coast and inland areas. We're seeing much more widespread warmth in that Friday forecast. As we head into the next 5 days, of course, we've got that late evening, early morning shower Sunday into Monday, and then things are dry, warm. Not an impactful situation here, but you might wake up and say, oh, there's some sprinkles on my windshield there, but it really is not going to impact the morning commute.
That is good to know. We know this is prom season, so those weekends kind of looking good too so far.
It's a good point. Yes, good for picture taking.
Love that.
We'll take it, Monica. Thank you.
Well, you may be familiar with the ground level of Old Sacramento, but there's a whole nother world in the city's underbelly that may surprise you.
John Bartel here, making a little pit stop on the underground tours in Old Sacramento.
In December of 1861, a torrential and unpredictable storm pounded the Pacific coast, causing the Sacramento River to swell more than 20 feet above normal. Within a matter of days, floodwaters ran over the newly constructed levee and drowned the city of Sacramento.
That's roughly about 18, 20 feet up to just below the upper landing up there, and that's how deep the water was.
It took over 4 weeks for the city to drain. The damage and death toll was so extensive, it literally bankrupted the state of California. To prevent future damage from the floods, people of Sacramento made a drastic decision.
So most of the owners here opt to jack their buildings up.
This is the Sacramento History Museum's underground tours, a view of what it looks like when you build a city on top of a city.
Come on in.
For the past 30 years now, tour guide Greg Tracy has helped explain how early Sacramentans raised the city.
And so what they would do is they would trench around the building, so they have some working room here, and then every 8 feet they would put one of these simple screw jacks.
Once the city was raised, new businesses formed in the basements.
This was a parlor house. Parlor houses at this time were basically entertainment areas for men.
Parlor houses were popular places for gold miners to come and spend their money. It was a place to get food, drinks, gamble, or partake in some risque activities.
I guess the ladies of the night also worked in this area here?
Joy ladies.
Joy ladies.
Joy ladies.
Because there was no plumbing in the 1800s, the basement served another purpose.
This was the building's privy. This is where they dumped all this stuff.
And the privy was also not only just a dumping ground for...
Well, it was a toilet.
As disgusting as it sounds, the privies or basement toilets would later become historically significant. You see, privies were also used as dumpsters that preserved loads of archaeological treasures.
What is this thing?
It's an archaeological dig from the Cosumnes River College. It's ongoing for about 30 years now.
So they're still digging here?
They're still digging here.
Some of the more interesting toilet artifacts include silverware, old bottles, horseshoes, and Greg's favorite, the community toothbrush.
There would be one bathroom per level, and then they would have one toothbrush per bathroom.
Despite being in a flood zone, the basement parlors and businesses did very well and operated for many years.
This flood that floods the California at this time, they figure is probably a 500 to 1,000 year storm. So we're not going to see another one like that anytime soon.
Did the people back then know that, or did
No, they didn't.
Greg says raising the city may not have been necessary, but it does give historians and tourists a good look into Sacramento's odd past.
From the underground tours in Old Sacramento, I'm John Bartel. Hope to see you on the back roads.
Thanks for watching ABC 10 Plus Tonight. We are here 24/7 on the free ABC 10 Plus TV streaming app. You can get your local news and weather anytime, anywhere. I'm Chris Thomas. We'll see you next time.
Our free ABC 10 Plus TV streaming app has so much to offer. Get your news live and on demand 24/7 so you can watch the news when you want. There's breaking news, extended forecast, and so much more. We have everything you need to get through your day and ready for the weekend. We've got you covered on money-saving tips, travel, entertainment, and sports. Download the free ABC 10 Plus app on your smart TV and popular streaming devices like Roku, Amazon Fire TV, and more. ABC 10. We stand for you 24/7.
Thanks for watching ABC 10 Plus. And now that you're here, why don't we take a look around and see what else is here? The very first tile on your left is always going to be streaming 24/7. You can find us adjacent to that, breaking news if it's there. And then right next to that, a replay of the most recent newscast. Whether it's ABC 10 Morning News at 5, 6, or beyond, it's going to be there. The forecast beyond that, and then right beyond that, the news that matters the most. Now that you know the basic tiles, let's go up to the top and take a deeper dive into news. We have every single newscast that you would need, including To the Point with Alex Bell, taking a deeper dive into the issues. Beyond that, ABC 10 Morning News at 5 and 6 and 11, the evening shows as well. Below that, you can watch the top stories from To the Point. Under that, Dollars and Cents, where you can learn how to navigate this challenging economy. And below that, you can watch our award-winning ABC 10 Special Investigations, where we hold the powerful accountable. Going into weather, look, it's the 10-day forecast, getting you ready for the weekend and beyond. Beyond that, sports. I know you care about the Sacramento Kings. We have the most comprehensive guide to anything, everything Kings in the locker room and on the court. We have it. Below that, I know you care about the San Francisco 49ers. We can't mention Bay Sports without talking about the Oakland A's. We have that too. Backing out again, come up to the top and join me on Verify. I'm super excited about this. Our experts are checking the facts, verifying the truth for you. Jump up now to shows. Very excited about this. Oh, look. It's Take a Look. This is my show. I love movies, and if you love movies or streaming shows, whether it's on screens this big, or this big, it's Take a Look. Recently went behind the scenes, sat down with Lady Gaga and Joaquin Phoenix to talk about Joker 2. I love the movie, and oh, I just heard you shout you hate the movie. Jump in, we talk about it on this show. Other shows, Bartell's Backroads, go up and down the state of California, tank of gas getaways, one fuel cell getaway, like places like the Toy Museum. This is what kids did before they had screens. Over here, the Moaning Caverns of Calaveras County, one of the most coveted caves in all of California. You know, watching this show, I discovered there's a cave that could fit the entire Statue of Liberty in your own backyard. You'll find about that and more with Bartell's Backroads. Down below that, To the Point. It is one of my favorite newscasts because they talk about news with Alex Bell the way you talk about news. It's conversational but in-depth at the same time. Below that, Your California Life. Love this show. Whether it's entertainment, food, beverage, lifestyle, it's there. Desiree Shepherd hosts and does an amazing job. So there you have it. It's ABC10 Plus, the app. What do you need? We heard you and we got it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for streaming.
We are in day one of a weather impact alert. This is for rain, for snow, and for wind.
Be flood ready and expect major mountain impacts.
It's that snow rain mix that drivers have been dealing with here.
We're already seeing the impact of the storm.
We're planning for those changes.
Be prepared for treacherous road conditions.
Stay fire ready.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on ABC10 Plus. The ABC10 Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
We're planning for those changes.
Stay fire ready.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
It very much is an active investigation.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. ABC10 Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.